welcome to Kushy Cooking. My name is Kate and we're here with
Smackin Soul Food, aka Chef Smackin.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Nancy and I'm a local chef here. I started this company about 2 years ago with my daughter, Kai. She can't be here today because she's working. But we customize personal chef experience and we do soul food and meal preps, and now we're going to be cooking with Canibis. Thanks to Elion. Thank you for inviting us. As you know, Canibis was not talked about or cooked with. It was, but now we can talk about it openly and to be able to enjoy it and
break the stigma.
That's right.
Start with the butter?
Yeah, let's start with the butter.
All right, so we are going to be infusing today's meal with some peanut butter souffle from Elion, of course.
Yeah.
We're going to be using my Levo 2. It's an infuser. And I'd say we'll use about 7 grams
at least.
Canibis,
for sure.
At least for our portion.
Right, because you don't want to have it too strong, and it's better to go slow than go fast, and then next thing you know, you're sloated.
Yeah.
So take your time and kind of play around with it. They do have calculators online if you want to go and calculate your Canibis for safety reasons. And this Canibis also has a nice nutty taste to it, which I like to use in my mac and cheese because you have a buttery, smoky taste in the mac and cheese, and then you have this wonderful nut kind of lemon herb in this Canibis, and it's so good. It just pairs absolutely perfectly, which is really important when you're cooking with Canibis. You need to know what kind of Canibis that you're cooking with, and so thank you, Elion, for providing that for us today.
It's also good to know our percentage so we can really accurately dose the servings. So with a Levo, you want to grind up the weed for the most part, and then put it in this little container here. Most people don't have one, so I would just Google a...
Well, actually, I actually cooked last night. So go ahead and take your Canibis, put it on some parchment paper. Put the oven at about 245 degrees. Put your Canibis on top of the parchment paper. Don't break it down. Leave it full in the nug. Then you want to put it in the oven for about 35-45 minutes to decarb it.
Decarboxylation.
I can't really say that. So once you have it decarbed, you're going to go ahead and then grind it, and then you're going to infuse it in the butter and cook it nice and slow. And you want to cook it in the butter for like maybe 2 hours till you get a nice good strain, and then you're going to filter it with, you know, a nice cheesecloth, anything cotton cloth, and pour the butter through so you have some really nice butter. But this is a lot easier.
Yes, you can also control this from your phone. It's fantastic. And personally, I've seen a better quality of Cana butter come from my machine rather than on the oven.
Yeah, for sure.
Stove.
For sure.
Okay, so first step is decarbing. We're going to activate it for 30 minutes at 240 degrees in the machine.
Boom.
All right, so this is the pod. You're just gonna stick it into the machine, close it, lock it, and start. So once it's done decarbing, then you just add the butter and give it an hour or two, and
we're golden.
You're good.
We are gonna get sloated.
Yes, we are.
So we're back in action. We got the Canibis infused with the butter. You see it's a nice green texture, and we had to do the triangles for Elion, and
it smells amazing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Super good, super good. So we're gonna go ahead and turn our pan on. We're gonna start it slow, probably at about 300 degrees, right? Because you don't wanna recook your butter and then have it brown and then it's nasty. So we're gonna go ahead and boom, boom. And then we're gonna just turn it up a little bit. We're gonna melt this butter down so we have some really nice.
The heat really makes the smell.
It does. It infuses it. And with what was the THC level again on this?
So the THC level is like 22.25%.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so this is probably going to be about 30 milligrams per serving. So I put the can of butter in there. And because you do need a little bit more butter, you know, macaroni and cheese, you need a little bit more butter. We're going to add a half a stick of butter
Dilute it a little.
Dilute it a little. Make sure you take the paper off. Don't do that. And then we're going to do that. And this, what we're doing is going to be a roux. And a roux is really important because it's the base of pretty much every single sauce, you know, like you were saying, the Alfredo,
yes,
your mac and cheese, your gravies, stuff like that. So if you don't want to make mac and cheese, you don't have to. And you can also use almond butter for you guys that are lactose intolerant, and almond cheese if you want to change it up. And you can also use gluten-free noodles. So yeah, right? So good. So as you can see, this Cana butter is mixing up really nicely. Right? We have it almost completely melted, which we want to melt this. And you know, you see me working in this pan. So if you guys don't have a stove, you're in college, you want to just make a quick mac for yourself, this is a great way of doing it. And the fumes from the peanut butter souffle are now entering my nose.
Yes.
And I'm so excited. So now that we have the butter popping, we're going to turn it down a little bit. And then we're going to add our flour. So it's a half a cup of flour. So we're just going to make sure that that's a half, tap it in, and boom, boom, boom. We're going to pour the flour in. And this is going to be the base. And now we're going to mix the flour with the Cana butter and the real butter. So you're gonna have this nice kind of earthy smell with the peanut butter souffle.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna get like this nice little paste. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, I said a half a cup, but we're gonna add a little bit more so I can get it a little bit more pasty. This is called cooking with style. You're lucky that I'm measuring today because my kids always yell at me, especially my daughter. She's like, why do you just pour the shit in? You don't even measure it.
Because you know.
I just know.
Yep.
You know, you just keep cooking and then you're just like bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Hello. So next, now that we have the nice roux, you can see it's kind of got a green tint to it. And the flour has broken down and attached itself to the butter and everything's just all yummy, yummy. We're gonna go ahead and add our special seasoning. I'm sorry I cannot share my seasoning with you.
Secret.
Salt, pepper, and some other stuff. So we're gonna put this mac and seasoning in there. And this is what's gonna change the color and give us that nice yellow texture and our smoky Cajun types flavors. And we're gonna just pour that in there and mix it in with the butter. Right? And so for people who don't like to eat Canibis, because you know we're infusing the Canibis, right? So it's a little different than like saying, oh, I want a weed cookie, when you can like really just taste the weed. And me, I personally like to taste the food and then have a nice little high when we're done. So we're gonna just go ahead, and the seasoning kind of takes away that Canibis, you know, for us lightweights.
It's dangerous.
Us, yeah, exactly. So now we're gonna start with our cream. Now that you had your roux done and it's already seasoned and everything, we're gonna go ahead and take some heavy whipping cream. So for every 1 cup of butter, you're gonna use 3 cups of heavy whipping cream. By the way, if you're on a diet, don't eat this. And you also might want to make some mac on the side that's not infused, so you don't get too loaded.
Yeah.
Because then you'd be like, ooh, slurping. So we're gonna go do this. Now heavy whipping cream will thicken up too, right? So we want that for our base, and we're gonna, here, go ahead and mix that. Enjoy.
Thank you.
So we're gonna bring this up to the heat and we're gonna make it kind of thick, and then we're gonna add some whole milk to it to kind of thin it out a little bit, because we're gonna be pouring this over the noodles. And I really like this peanut butter strand. One, because it's like a mild high. You know, you kind of have little indica, little sativa. It's like a nice little brand. I love Elion. I love their Canibis. It really works for me. I can have a little munchie, I can have a little smoke and still function. Okay, so now that we've got the heavy whipping cream, we're gonna turn down the temperature to just keep warm, because right here you see you've got like this, I'll use this. You've got like this texture, right? That's kind of thick. So you don't want it too thick because then you'll end up with a dry mac. And that's no bueno.
No.
So we're gonna turn that all the way down. And then we're gonna add our milk. Our milk kitty milk.
1 cup of milk?
We'll do 3 cups. So 3 to 3, okay? You can break that down 1 to 1 if you're just making a single serving. 1, 2, 3. Boom shakalaka. Okay, so now we're just gonna whip it up. Whip it up. You gotta have fun while you're cooking, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you?
Yes.
You have to make it interesting, you know what I mean? Like, because you're creating artwork for people to enjoy, right? So
put love into it.
Right, exactly. Love and personality. So we're gonna whip it up even more. I do a lot of whipping. Not with my kids, but with my Mac. Okay. So here we have our sauce. We're gonna bring the heat back up a little bit, make it a little bit thicker, and now we're gonna get our noodles ready. You wanna smell?
Yes.
Damn, Gina.
Wow.
That's hella good.
That smells amazing.
You
You can really smell the like nutty, peppery terpenes.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like mild.
With a little hint of like that smoky Cajun.
Yes, yeah, totally.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. It's like the perfect Canibis for this. Our handy dandy foil pan. So then you want to cook about 1 to 2 pounds of noodles. We've already pre-cooked our noodles today, so you don't have to worry about that. You're gonna put your noodles into the pan. Now that you have your noodles, we're gonna spread these out, and we're gonna put our shredded cheese in here. You can use cheddar, mozzarella, Gouda. I personally like to do a Colby and cheddar mix, you know? I don't want to put nothing smoky because in my seasoning it's already smoky.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and put that on there, and we're gonna mix the noodles. Oh, go ahead, sister. So what we want to do is want to just make sure, you know, you can just chop it up a little bit and make sure that the cheese gets into the noodles. So with the noodles being wet, the cheese is going to kind of grasp onto it. If you use your noodles and they're hot, your cheese will melt and you will not be able to mix your macaroni and cheese, and you'll be coming out with a mess. So make sure that you chill your noodles before you do the work. So being from the Bay Area, Canibis has been like really important to me. It's got a lot of healing effects. Working nights, I wasn't able to sleep, so Canibis always helped me go to sleep. So this is a good nighttime dish.
Yes.
If you want to go to sleep, you want to, you know, hang out with your friends and just relax, you can do that and munch. This is a great dish for you. So we're gonna take this, so we're gonna turn this off so we don't burn ourselves. So once you have your pan, you're gonna take your sauce with your Canibis infused and boom. Oh yeah. You want the noodles wet. Okay. And then now that you have these noodles, you're gonna go ahead and fold the macaroni and cheese in with the sauce. Not too hard. Your cheese is gonna melt a little bit. You can smell that Canibis just coming through.
Yeah.
And the Canibis, what's gonna happen is once you bake your macaroni and cheese, it's going to hold on to the noodles, not just to the sauce. So it's completely infused. Tap your noodles down so it's into the moisture, so it stays wet. And then we're gonna take our extra cheese, just right over here, and we're gonna just do a little sprinkle. You can use a lot of cheese, you can use a little bit of cheese.
No cheese never hurts.
You know, I like my noodles to show through a little bit. Some people don't like any noodles showing through. They just want a whole cheese layer. So we're gonna do that with some kosher salt. Sprinkle some kosher salt on there, which is my favorite salt to use. So it's not too salty, but you get nice little kicks of salt. And then you're gonna use some parsley for your garnish. It gives it a nice pretty look, so you have a little texture, a little color difference. And then that's it. And then you're gonna bake this for 30 minutes, uncovered, at 350 degrees. Let's put it in the oven. And let that bake for 30 minutes.
Voila.
So now we're about to take the Smackin Mac out of the oven. Yes. It's a little danky in there.
Wow.
Right? So delicious. So you can see all your Canibis. We're gonna go ahead and plate this. It's so juicy.
Yeah.
Right?
Juicy.
Oh, Smackin Mac time. See those legs?
Oh.
That's when you know you got real mac.
Oh my God, legs, girl.
Dang. All right, girl, time to dig in. Let's see how this tastes. Creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could taste that peanut butter nut taste.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Eat slow, because you will
Yeah.
get high.
Well, thank you to Elion for sponsoring the video, and thank you to Smackin Soul Food for coming out today and showing us how to make her amazing, yummy, delicious mac and cheese.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody that follows me on Instagram and orders food from me and has me come into their home and cook for them. You guys can hit me up anytime. And yeah, shout out to my followers. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. And thank you, Elion, for having me on this cooking show.
Thank you, Elion.
Bye.
Bye.